Alrighty, and with that, I've got 3:30 my time, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. Today's webinar is a joint webinar between Hireology and Netchex, talking about how you can really make the most of your hiring and onboarding programs. I'm your host for today, Ryan O'Donnell, and I'm a group product manager here at Hireology. And I am joined by my colleague over on the Netchex side, Chris Roig, who is one of their sales engineers. Today, thanks so much, Chris. It's good to have you on the call. For today's agenda, we're going to be going through a little bit of introductions on both of our companies. Chris is going to give a deep dive on Netchex and all of the great things that they're doing to help people stay on top of all their people processes and more. And then I'll share a little bit of information about some recent research that we've been doing at Hireology about the importance of employee referral programs. And then we'll be talking about some of the new integrations that have just come out between our two companies to really help you turbocharge your employee referral program. So with that, Chris, I'm going to go ahead and hand the mic over to you. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks for the intro, Ryan. So super excited to introduce you guys to Netchex. If you haven't heard of us before, we're really a leader in the cloud-based HCM or HRIS software. Here's just a couple of stats about us. You know, we support about 4,500, 5,000 clients nationwide. Something we're super proud of. We have about a 95% retention rate, which is super exciting. In our space, that's almost unprecedented. We really do have a philosophy around our client service and client support that's helped us earn that retention rate. You know, really in short, what we do is consistently deliver a quality product in the expected time frame with really an unmatched level of service. And we do it all at a very reasonable cost because we know that that's an important factor as we look at that. And Ryan, if you go to the next slide, we'll kind of look at some of the challenges that we help face. You know, we know that HR executives are wearing a lot of hats. I mean, you're charged with so much. You know, if we look back 10, 15 years, HR has changed dramatically. Heck, even in the last 5 years, with the addition of, you know, hey, now we have all of this new compliance that we have to keep track of, and we've got performance reviews and employee engagement around the great resignation and ghosting and learning and developing our employees and planning out our workforce. And HR executives are asked to do so much that we're really seeing the need for technology that can help drive solutions and free us up from being inundated with the little tasks that can get us day to day. You know, as we look at the challenges on this next slide here, we really see them boil down into about 4 main themes. And those 4 themes are manual processes. And this is clients that we work with that are still having processes that are paper intensive and manual, and it just wastes time and creates a potential for errors. Great example. I talked to a group today that runs some beauty spas type, massage type clinic, right? And a lot of their calculations around commissions and payroll, they're still managing all of that by hand and spending a full day trying to just get all of that information together. Other times it's not necessarily just manual processes. Sometimes we have a system in place, but that system really isn't helping them get work done effectively or efficiently. And it can really feel more like a Band-Aid than an actual solution. And that could be maybe that the system doesn't update quite as regularly as I need it to, or I have to put things into multiple places, or it's just kind of a cumbersome experience to find what I need and kind of mud through. And sometimes it's multiple systems in place. Talk to companies all the time that have systems that on their own, they work fine. You know, hey, I needed a system for managing my employees' time, so I got one. And then I needed one for benefits, so I have one. And we need a performance review, so I got one. I need a learning management platform, so I got one. And then I look up, and all of a sudden, I've got 4 or 5 different places that are all housing similar information that on their own work fine, but they don't talk to each other. And so I find myself kind of back in bucket 1, where I've got these manual processes where I'm entering all this data that puts me in bucket 2, where I have these efficiency problems. Other times, it's just struggling getting the service that you need. You know, one of the things that we found in the HR space, it's not if something comes up, it's when it comes up. We're going to have the need for some support. And when those things come up, it's important to know that you've got a team behind you that understands your world. You know, we talk to groups all the time that are experiencing things like long wait times. They're talking to different people in different departments with different answers. Or they find themselves maybe talking to different people that are kind of pointing the finger at one, oh, you have to talk to the people in time and sense. Oh, no, you need to talk to the people in payroll, or hey, no, you need to talk to the benefits person. They handle that side. And at Netchex, we take a very unique approach to customer service with a team-based solution that gives you one direct dial phone number that calls the same small team of people. So you have that sense of familiarity with somebody that knows you and knows your business, that's cross-trained in all facets of the application. So whether you're calling about a GL or an onboarding task, you're talking to the same people who can help you solve your challenge. And you know, as we look at these kind of four themes that our business challenges typically fall into, the solutions will typically fall into a similar set of buckets. So our first solution really kind of flows around employee engagement. You know, as we look at this, all of our platforms, all of our modules, from our recruiting partnership with Hireology to onboarding, to time, to payroll, to benefits, to performance, to scheduling, all of these programs were designed to be mobile accessible to employees, mobile accessible to managers, to administrators, so that your team can see exactly what you need them to see and what you need them to know, and to take action on things right from their phone. So we're allowing employees to kind of self-serve, getting you out of these manual processes, things like punching in and punching out, enrolling in benefits, updating your tax allowances or your personal information like your address or emergency contact, or even just pulling payroll and tax copies. We're giving employees tools that allow them to come in and grab those things on their own, so you guys don't have to get in and do it. And we keep it really, really simple so that employees can do it with little to no training. So we're not clogging you up and lowering your efficiency by having you spend the time training your employees on how to use the systems you put in place to fix that problem. Also, our analytics tools help your HR team see what's impacting the organization, make key recommendations proactively by looking at some of your key performance areas like turnover, benefit spend, wage and headcount analyses, and being able to proactively use that data to help make decisions to drive the company forward. You know, we define engagement as kind of an always-on employee experience. The platform's mobile responsive, it reduces friction, it allows peers to feedback and encouragement. It allows you to build and assign training courses, test employees for comprehensions, and even has a philanthropic arm to help manage all of your social responsibility and your employment brand perception. And it goes beyond compliance, or excuse me, beyond engagement, kind of into compliance. And what a lot of our clients has found is that compliance tends to be a little confusing. It can get overwhelming. A lot of business owners and executives don't always feel like they have the full scope of compliance, or that they're able to keep up with all the changes that happen every year and continue to be as effective as they were before that change hit. You know, take COVID, for example, and all the things that came with COVID, from emergency paid leave to all of the, excuse me, all the PPP loans and the tax credits. You know, we were one of the first to respond and provide solutions for our clients to help manage all of those tools. And there's also just the regular suspects, kind of the alphabet soup of FMLA and ACA and COBRA and OSHA and HIPAA, and, you know, not to mention all the payroll and tax compliance. And these laws seems like they're always changing. You know, we introduced a new W-4 recently and a new I-9 just before that. And we believe it's critical for compliance to be blended into the fabric of your HR application so that your organization's never at risk of going off the rails. Whether it's minimum wage law, e-verify, new legislation, we're just making sure that we keep you guys compliant at every stage so you can continue to be efficient in your daily job. And our third bucket is really service, right? And as we look at service, we really look at kind of a dedicated team approach. You know, in the market, we find that there's typically two different approaches. There's the 1-800 payroll, where you talk to who you talk to. On the other side, there's kind of that dedicated rep. And while we like dedicated rep, we know that that can create unfortunately, a single point of contact, but also a single point of failure. And so by giving you a dedicated team of 5 individuals, each led by a dedicated client advocate, you're sure to be able to get a hold of someone who knows you, that knows your business, and not have to worry about, oh my gosh, my person got promoted, I don't have my rep anymore. Or, hey, they moved to a different part of the organization or moved on for another opportunity. We know that businesses move fast, and your dedicated team of highly trained associates is going to be there for you to be able to deliver an answer when you need it. We have about an 80% first call resolution, ensuring that, hey, 8 times out of 10, we're going to be able to get you right back on track. Now, sometimes, of course, you'll stump us, but we also publish our SLAs, our service level agreements, so you'll know exactly when you can expect to get an answer and to have your question or item resolved. This allows us to help just set proper expectations with our clients to ensure we're living up to our promises. We've also got a great community portal where you can engage and interact with other users. And all of this together has helped us with our 95% retention rate that I shared, but also has given us an NPS score of 72, which is on par with companies like Apple or Costco. For those of you that aren't familiar with NPS, that's just that survey of, hey, how likely are you to recommend us to a friend or a colleague? And lastly, it's all about integration. You know, it's probably an understatement to say we live in a highly connected world. And in today's business environment, the HRIS and the payroll platform typically serves as a system of record. And look, we're incredibly strong as a standalone HRIS, and a lot of customers use it that way. But we also know that many businesses have also invested in other tools, like the employee referral program you'll see today, accounting platforms, 401k vendors, and benefit platforms. And we know that you want to ensure that your HCM technology works hand in hand with those to drive additional efficiencies in your business, especially when it comes to some of those back office functions like finance and accounting and benefits. And really, you know, those integrations look very different in every different company and every different industry. And we'd love to talk to you more about that, but just know that we're really proud of our capabilities around integration and our ability to be able to push data to those other platforms that you guys use every single day. And before I pass it back to Ryan, just want to give you a quick look here at kind of what the technology looks like. You know, whether you're looking at this through the lens of an employee, a manager, or an administrator, we've really taken a focus on keeping it simple and easy for employees to use. Because one of the things that we found is as we look at employee-facing tools like onboarding and benefits enrollment and performance management, if it's not easy, employees have a tendency to shy away from it. They don't use it, or they call us and they need help with using it. We really don't get that return on our investment that we were expecting. By keeping it simple, we ensure that your employees are going to adopt the solutions, and they're going to be able to use it all the way down to your frontline employee. Great example on this employee dashboard. You know, having never seen this before, I would bet that most could figure out where they go to find a paycheck stub, to enroll in benefits, look at their performance eval, or even just punch in and punch out. And Ryan's going to talk a little later about how the links in this self-service app can allow us to link out to some of those other integrated platforms that are mission critical, but maybe not tied in directly to the HRIS. And so by focusing on just simple, easy solutions backed by world-class service at a cost point that's reasonable, Netchex is really becoming a leader in the HCM space. And we're super excited to talk to you a little bit more today about how we've done some integration with Hireology and their new Employees platform. And with that, I'll pass it back over to you, Ryan, to kind of take us through our next phase.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much, Chris. Really exciting to see all of the things that Netchex can do. And, you know, to help just connect our story here and what we want to be able to communicate with everyone is really how you can have an integrated approach to hiring and making sure that you've got a steady stream of high quality candidates. If you don't already know about Hireology, we're an all-in-one hiring platform that's got everything you need to build your best teams. So from managing a career page, your job posts, employee referrals, and the whole talent acquisition process between screening, interviewing, drug tests, and more, all built into one platform. And what we've seen is that employee referrals are one of the best ways to hire. And we want to show you a few ways of how you can make a big impact in your hiring by focusing on a really robust employee referral program. So really, why start with employee referrals? Well, as we all know, the hiring market is really tough. To put it into perspective, as of June, we were looking at roughly 2 open jobs for every active job seeker. This means that hiring is ultra competitive, as it's been for really the past 2 years, and it hasn't gotten any easier. A lot of our customers are telling us that the sources that they use to hire for the past 5-10 years that they came to rely on, think of like job boards, like Indeed or LinkedIn, are getting so crowded that they're having a tough time standing out and actually attracting top talent to their job ads, to their career sites. The market is just so saturated. And we know this also from looking at candidates. We've seen that on average, 50% of candidates that we surveyed last year said that they applied to more than 16 jobs in their most recent job search. And as we all know, if you are a top candidate in today's market, you're not on the job market very long. You're looking for days, not weeks or months. So it's really important to have a fast hiring process. So when we look at how people are finding their jobs, we've seen some really interesting research here too. And that's where referrals come into play. People have a lot of different options when it comes for what they want to look for in a job, whether it's remote work, hybrid work, whether it's staying at a company they've been with for a long time or having shorter stints at multiple companies over their careers. And everyone is always interested in what companies are going to be the best fit for them, who's got the right combination of benefits and culture and opportunities that they can get really excited about. And sure, everything companies say on their career pages is great. But what we've seen is that about 92% of candidates say that they agree or strongly agree that they're most likely going to accept a job offer if a trusted friend or acquaintance vouches for that company. So if applicants are so hard to come by and we spend so much time, money, energy getting candidates to apply for our jobs, interviewing them, when we actually send them a job offer, really one of the most important things is that someone that they know is vouching for your company. And the way to do that is by focusing in on referrals. We know that it's also a top source of new hires for a lot of companies. When we look at where people start their job search versus where they actually get hired, no surprise, a lot of people start their job search on the job boards. But for a lot of them, the experience, isn't great and doesn't lead to a lot of them finding a job on a job board. Whereas when it comes to referrals, it's one of the fewest places where people start, but one of the best ways where people actually get hired. So only 3% of people start their job search from an employee referral, but over 20% of people actually get hired through that. So just think about that. Just in terms of the effectiveness of it, a lot of people may start their search one way, but they're ultimately getting hired because of referrals. We also have looked at a lot of data for our own customer base and trying to figure out really what makes a referral better. And we've really seen 3 common themes come a part of that. The first is that referrals are converted into candidates, meaning they're qualified applicants, 38% of the time compared to 21% for non-referrals. What that shows is just that referrals are twice as likely to be qualified. And then when you're actually working with candidates, they're 4 times more likely to get hired than non-referrals. And really the cherry on top is they get hired 3 days faster. So the difference between 8 days and 11 days in today's talent market really matters. And that's another reason why referrals are so important. So if a referral program can produce results like this, you might be wondering, well, then why doesn't everyone have a great employee referral program? Why are referrals not every company's #1 source of hire. And that's come into some of the things of what we've seen hold organizations back from reaching their recruiting goals with a high-performing employee referral program. When we talk to a lot of our customers before they start using our referral tool, they say a lot of things about why what they used to do didn't work. And some of the most common reasons why their old referral programs flopped was that they made it really hard for people to participate. They didn't create a lot of excitement in the program. They didn't offer the right referral bonus amount, or they made it really complicated to actually get your referral bonus. They didn't communicate the program. So they might have launched it like 2 years ago or said something at an annual kickoff, but then no one ever heard about the employee referral program since. And then the last part, and I'm sure Chris can relate to this from a payroll world. If you don't pay people on time, it doesn't matter about anything else. And we've seen a lot of companies who have said just because their processes are so manual, they're doing things in spreadsheets or tracking everything in email, that they miss payouts entirely, they pay out the wrong amounts, or in some cases pay the wrong person. So really, these are kind of the 5 areas where we've seen referral programs really fail. And what we have really built out at Hireology is a fully integrated platform to help you get the most out of your employee referral programs and really have a turnkey solution that helps you go from, perhaps not having a referral program and getting something in place that's really best in class, or really cranking up the results of what you're currently getting. What the platform actually does is it allows you to easily turn all of your best employees into your top recruiters. And the way to do that, using the tool, you can really easily define your program policy, set up how much you want to pay, when, any of the rules that you have to tracking compliance, to Chris's earlier point, get that set up on the front end, and then promote the program and really engage your employees, get them participating in your referral program, get them sharing jobs on social media, referring their friends, getting the word out there, and really being your advocates out there in the job market. Managing all of your candidates and your referral bonus payments, that's a big piece of the product, just to making sure that you've got all of your referrals in one place, as opposed to what I've seen at some companies, one hiring manager's got it tracked on a whiteboard, someone in HR has a sticky note to pay someone, or it's a calendar reminder. We've seen a lot of different ways of how things can fall through the cracks. So we give you one easy place where all of your referral data is. And then the last point, and as Chris shared, really a key pillar of what Netchex offers is being able to integrate all of your referral data, hiring data, and employee data, so that information flows seamlessly and you're able to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks. So I want to show you a few examples of what this actually looks like and why we're really excited about the new integration between Netchex and Hireology. As Chris was sharing earlier, one of the big benefits of using a platform like Netchex is being able to allow employees to self-service, and avoid some of those messages that they're going to come to the HR team to make small adjustments or check out different resources. These are now things that can be available directly on your employees' phones through the Netchex app. And one of the first ways that we wanted to integrate was to make it really easy for people to refer in just one click directly from the Netchex app. So you can add a link to your employee referral portal directly inside of Netchex, so that when employees are perhaps looking at their 401k website or learning more about your 401k programs or your open jobs at your company, they've got an easy way to refer a friend. We hear a lot of companies are just struggling when it comes to telling their employees where to go. So if employees don't know what to do and how to do it easily, they either don't do it or they do it in a way that you don't want them to do it. Some companies, they have their employees, they're printing out resumes, they're sliding it under employees' doors. That's not a scalable solution. That's not a great experience for anyone. So with one click in the Netchex app, you can launch your employee referral program. And here with Hireology, you can easily launch your program and allow your employees to view what jobs you have open, refer their friends, and earn rewards. So what I'm showing you right now is an example of what the referral program looks like inside of Hireology. We can pull all your jobs directly from your job site and then show those to your employees and give them an easy way to refer someone, to learn more about the job, see what types of rewards you're offering, and even check to see if they know anyone on LinkedIn who might be a good fit for that job. Let's say you're an employee and you have a friend who you want to refer. You can do that in less than 60 seconds from your phone, all powered through a really simple self-service experience. It's all delivered through a chatbot that works 24/7. So you don't have to actually have employees communicating with your workforce, asking for referrals or following up over email. We know that for some companies, that could take 15, 20, 30 minutes just trying to go back and forth with an employee to resolve one issue. And this way, an employee can do it in 60 seconds and move on with their day without interrupting their hiring manager or the HR team. After employees refer, they can refer a lot of different ways, whether it be through email or texting a friend a link to apply for a job. We also have integrations so that employees can share jobs on social media, which we've seen be a really powerful way to turn your employees into your best advocates. So from literally opening up the Netchex app, tapping refer a friend, you can have referred someone for a job and shared on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or more about why you love working at your company and that your company is hiring. And if you're a salesperson, you're going to tell your friends, hey, our sales team is hiring. Here's why I like working here. You should too, and get more applicants that way as well. So from an employee experience side, it's really easy to use. There's not a lot of complicated tools or accounts to log into or train employees on. It's something that you can easily promote either through the Netchex app, or I'll also show you in a little bit a few ways of how you can embed it into your onboarding program to drive adoption as well. Now, you might be wondering, well, what happens after an employee does that? All of your referrals are kept in one place. So you can ditch all those email threads, those spreadsheets. You can see a breakdown of every referral, who submitted it, when it was submitted. You can track things like, ownership, who's eligible for a referral bonus, all through one dashboard. So you know exactly who your top candidates are. As we were sharing earlier, referrals are one of your best sources of talent. And some of our companies that are using our product, they're hiring one of every 3 or 4 referrals that actually get sent to them. So it's a great place to find high quality candidates. What's really nice is it's fully integrated with the rest of the Hireology applicant tracking system, as well as over 40 different applicant tracking systems as well. If you're using other tools, you can easily plug and play regardless of what you're using for your recruiting systems today. And you can see exactly who you need to pay and when. So when you hire someone, you go through the onboarding process, you get them added into Netchex, we'll be able to automatically sync that data so that you know exactly who is referring who, when did they actually get started, and you can have one centralized view to know exactly who do you need to pay and when. Now, what's really nice about this is a lot of companies, they might have different referral bonuses for different types of roles, or they might pay it out in 2 different installments. All of those are things that can be automated and tracked in one dashboard without having to set up manual tasks or having to track down things one by one. All of the data is also there as well too. So if you need to look up which employees are getting a referral bonus, or who your top employees are for referrals, you have all of that information right there at your fingertips for every referral that's submitted and every employee that's participating in your referral program. I want to talk a little bit more about that because this is what's really so exciting about the Netchex integration with Hireology referrals. You can sync all of your employees in Netchex in real time without having to do any manual uploads or downloads from any systems to make sure that your employee data is tracked seamlessly and is in line with your system of record in Netchex. So if an employee updates their information in Netchex, it'll automatically update it over here in Hireology. So they don't have to go back and forth and update it in 3 or 4 different places. They can do it once and it'll automatically update. What's nice about our new integration is that you can automatically add new employees to your referral program and remove your former employees. You can keep track of those former employees if you want to ever do any sorts of like retargeting campaigns or engage your alumni, ask them for referrals. But we know that a lot of companies are really focused on getting employees to refer in their first few weeks on the job. As soon as they get started, they finish onboarding, you want to engage those employees and ask them for referrals too. And that's something you can now do really easily. So you can flip on the integration and then you'll have all of your employee data syncing every single night so that that data is kept up to date. And then you can use that to send out referral campaigns to promote your referral program via email campaigns or text campaigns. What I've got pulled up here right now is an example of a text message campaign that you can send out to promote your employee referral program. We've seen that text communication is one of the best ways to promote a referral program and stay top of mind for your employees, especially if you've got a lot of employees who are hourly, who may not be sitting at a desk all day long. You can set up different triggers or alerts for who you want these to go out to. So you can send out an onboarding campaign to new employees on their 10th day working for you, introducing the referral program. And then you can follow up with them 10 days later, thanking the people who have referred and continuing to nudge the people who haven't yet taken that step. We've got some really powerful templates as well that we've seen work really well when it comes to promoting an employee referral program. So you don't have to build all of these from scratch. We've got a lot of proven examples that are shown to increase employee adoption in your referral program and lead to more referrals. Like I said, you can do those campaigns through email or text. This is an example of one of the email campaigns you can send out. You can include your jobs in those. So if you wanted to send out a weekly email blast to all of your employees with the jobs that have been opened in the past week, you can easily do that and set it on autopilot to run every single week. You've got some other options when it comes to promoting your referral program, like QR codes or referral program flyers that we've seen work really well. Employees are returning back to the office, and you can easily have a call to action that an employee could just scan and start referring right there on their phone. We've seen these referral campaigns really help to get the most out of your referral program. So you've got a lot of easy ways to drive engagement and adoption and actually see the ROI of a referral program without ever wondering, hey, we talked about it 6 months ago. Is it still working? Does anyone know about it? Using a tool like this, you can easily track the performance of all of your campaigns and see the needle constantly improving month over month. So I wanted to share a few just overviews of what's now included in the Netchex Hireology Referrals integration. There's a lot of things that you can do with it now, and I want to touch on each one of them here. So the first one, like I shared, all of your employment changes automatically get synced of what's happening in payroll, like new hires or terminations, will automatically get reflected in Hireology referrals. This makes it so much easier to get started with your referral program without having to manually download data from Netchex, make sure it's right, upload it into another system. We wanted to eliminate all of those headaches and just make it really easy for our customers to just upload that data with an automated integration. The second part is that you can keep your employee rosters, up to date and without ever actually sending out anything, manually. You can send out campaigns and set up automated workflows, both inside of Netchex and in your onboarding processes, as well as inside of Hireology referrals, where you can set up some of those campaigns that are just going to run on autopilot. And the last part that's really cool is that once you have all of your data synced, you're able to much more easily process and pay your referral bonuses and being able to do that in bulk as opposed to manually going forth, back and forth between your systems. So I don't know, Chris, is there anything that you want to add about, what you're excited about seeing here with the new, latest integration between Hireology and Netchex?
I mean, really, Ryan, you hit the things that I'm really excited about. Employment changes happen all the time, right? I've got a new hire that comes in, I've got a termination, and being able to do things like, hey, when somebody's new hired, pass them a link that they can use to do an employee referral right then and there makes it really easy for us to take advantage of that. I mean, those people are excited. They're coming on board. Maybe they want to refer one of their friends, and also just keeping it front and center. I mean, I was recently just talking to one of the team members in our marketing department who may or may not be on this call, who talked about, yeah, when I found out about our referral program, I became a headhunter for Netchex, which is really cool. And actually said one of her friends did accept a position recently. You know, the other big piece and that thing everybody asks about is, hey, so I track these referrals, but how do I get it into payroll? And you know, that's not happening as often as employment changes. So with a simple download of the file and importing it into payroll, I can get all of those bonuses paid out to the right people at the right times to ensure I'm not kind of underhanding my employee referral program, or maybe having some sour attitudes because people didn't get their bonuses timely. We're also making sure that you guys don't fall back into that bucket of manual processes and inefficiencies where you're having to manually key in all those bonuses into the payroll. So I think it's super exciting. And I think the integration really is going to help take the referral program to the next level.
Yeah, I know on our side, we have a couple of employees who have referred, several people to Hireology, and we have a tiered structure, and we've had a couple of employees who have broken it. They've gotten 5 people hired, so we have to start adding like a 6th tier. So it's definitely a really cool thing to see employees participating and kind of getting the most out of it. I do want to open it up for any Q&A. If anyone's got anything, feel free to ask a question here, and we'll answer that before we close things up. I do want to, as folks might be having any questions that they want to add, just share a quick plug for an event that we have coming up, Elevate. It's our annual hiring and HR summit that Hireology puts on in Chicago. It's coming up. It's just a little over a month away on October 26th. You'll hear from some industry experts as well as your peers, get insights on how to build and retain your best team in today's hiring market. We are so excited to bring this event back in person. It's going to be the first time since 2019, and it's going to be in Chicago. If you're interested in joining, please visit hireology.com/elevate to register today. I just saw a note from someone who just sent in and said they already registered. So thank you so much for doing that. Really appreciate and look forward to seeing you there. I'll go ahead and give it about another 10-15 seconds, see if we got any questions. And then we'll go ahead and wrap things up here a little bit early, that you all get back to your day. Looks like I got one question in here. Just how do you enable the integration? Well, it looks like we've got a couple of people who are already using both Netchex and Hireology. It's super simple. If you are a current customer of Hireology and Netchex, just contact your Hireology customer success manager, and we'll be able to enable it on your account. If you've got any questions about how it works for your particular instance, we've got a team of experts on both sides ready to jump in and help you out. I don't see any other questions here in the chat. So if anyone's got anything, feel free to let it out. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. Don't see anything else. So just want to say thank you so much for everyone who joined. Really appreciate having you attend this webinar today with Hireology and Netchex. Thanks so much. And we will be in touch. So thanks so much for listening in and learn a little bit more about what you can do with this integration. Hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Bye-bye.